Welcome to the Queen Divas, Queens of Fitness podcast. Join your hosts, three-time WBFF world champions and WBFF royalty, Alicia Gowans and Stephanie Ayala McHugh, as we explore all things female health, training, competing, mindset, and living the fitness life every day.
So everybody that's actually tuning into this week's episode and is watching this on YouTube can see how incredibly diced the young Stephanie here is looking. She is now 3 weeks from stage and looking fucking sensational, might I add. And on our last episode, we talked about my very different type of prep where while she's strategically cutting away, I'm strategically fattening up. Two very different.
You're adding more cushion for the pushing, okay? Yours is different.
What I find awesome, which I love, and I'm really praying for a really positive outcome, is that I believe around the time where I'm going to find out if our transfer is successful or not will be when you win your 4th crown.
Oh my God, you're so funny. Okay, well, that's motivation. That's some motivation. Maybe some good juju. Some good vibes getting sent my way.
I'm always giving you all the good juju. But
hey, no, look.
Might be a little bit biased, but I really don't see a single physique on the planet that comes that close to you to actually take it from you.
Come on. That is ridiculous. Guys, I am not anywhere near, honestly, in the condition where, you get this, Ali. When we're in prep, we never feel like it's enough, right? No, you feel, and this is crazy about us because we feel like we're still not ready. What are you talking about? I still have 3 weeks. I'm not ready yet. Even though you feel physically you could be ready. You want to fix a couple things. It's, I think the biggest hurdle for me has really been the fact that I've been in prep since last year. We were supposed to do, Bahamas 2020, and that was, rescheduled several times, and then it got postponed to London, and then it got canceled. So all of 2020, honestly, 70% of 2020, I was in prep. So I really didn't have essentially a break because I didn't have enough time to really say, I'm going to go into a building phase and then start, cutting back up, for this Vegas. So I just decided to go into maintenance and kind of coast, and it was nice, but
you also had a lot of work you were doing though, Steph, too, for listening to this in photo shoots and content creation. She was doing a lot of stuff, people. So her schedule was really quite full. It really wasn't a space for her to go away and go, right. You know what,
let me go full on build. Yeah, exactly. Which is why I tried to just maintain, and it was difficult to kind of get out of there.
Luckily though, no real big injuries, nothing that you were navigating this season and last year, which was great because I know you, like me, have had your highs and lows and ups and downs with those, and they just give it a whole nother myriad of complexities, right?
Always, right. Well, 2020 was no gym, right? It was we all had to deal with not having gym access and having to scrounge, for equipment and train from home and do what you can. And then this year, of course, here in Texas, specifically where I'm at, we've been open. We've been open since last year. We're very blessed. It's been a free open state, and the gyms have been full access versus even in some places here in the States in the North, it hasn't been. So I've had a lot of, very good benefits this year as far as training and feeling better. But I think it's more of a mental side because even today I was at the rehab with one of the specialists, and the physio was like, so how long have you been prepping? And I didn't know how to answer the question. I was kind of stumped. I was like, I've been prepping for 2 years. I mean, it really feels that way because it really just kind of nonstop since January 2020. So I feel like it's really a year and a half, right? So it's just been on autopilot mode. I think my mindset right now is just kind of get there, right? Let's just get there. It's let's make sure it happens. I think we've all been kind of dabbled and kind of stringed along and thinking it may happen and not. Well, I know it's definitely going to happen. It's not the mindset of thinking.
I think it definitely will happen. I don't see
of course.
I don't stopping it. But what is interesting for anyone listening is that there has been an outbreak now in Vegas again, and there are now on the ground restrictions being implemented because Jacinta, who's one of our coaches, her brother actually lives in Vegas. So he's been giving us the real time on the ground updates. And it's okay, this show may change a little bit in the sense of masks being worn again, like we've seen in other shows late last year. You know, there was, well, even in the Dallas show last year, right?
Yeah, our Dallas show.
This year, though, I know Dallas has been great. So it opened up. There was none of those sorts of pressures, at least, which was probably lovely for you guys.
Oh, man, it was such a good, smooth show. So we just had the Dallas show last weekend.
I loved watching it. I'm so FOMO. Like,
okay, look,
the
whole time, it was weird. It was weird, Ali, because it was back to the same original grand opening venue that we had it at. Well, same venue, but what I mean is Host Hotel. So all I was having flashbacks was of our team shoots that we did together, of the Ali's Angels and Team Dynasty, you know, group of team photo shoot that we did, you know, collage together. It was so nice, and people were doing photo shoots in all these areas, and I'm like, oh my God, like Ali's not here, and people, you know, I saw some of your, you know, folks and some of your clients, and they came up and said hi, always so nice. And it's still something that I've missed you so much at. Honestly, all the events are not the same without you.
We always talk about it too. We're always like, you know, you and Kerry are our two things we miss the absolute most, along with Toby. Like, we're just like, oh my God, it's just, it doesn't feel right. Like, this was the second year where we haven't taken Toby for dinner for his birthday, because he's always been off on his birthday. It's like not being able to be there for Dallas with you guys and then go from Dallas through to Worlds. It's just, everything feels wrong, and it kind of
is.
I just sat up late and got up early and was watching everything through all the socials because I wanted to feel like I was there still. But we were full supporting you guys, and you know, really proud of what you put on, because every year you guys just get better and better, and I couldn't be more proud of what you've been able to achieve. I think hats off to both of you. You're an incredible team, and I think you're an incredible promotion team too when it comes to this show. It's consecutively year after year just getting better, and kudos to what you guys are putting on. And I think
it's a team effort. You always know that, because
100%, you guys are a massive team, just like us. And it's like,
exactly,
you're both great in your own right, but you're only as good as you are because you're together, right? And we're the same. And I think, you know, powerfully, you know, so that you're able to do this so close to the World Show. And I think it's a testament to what you're able to do behind the scenes that people don't see. And I think people should probably take a moment to recognize and give credit to the fact there's a lot going on behind that, you know, laptop, behind that Instagram, behind those four walls, right? So I think a massive congratulations. I cannot wait to see what you do on stage beyond this, because I think what you guys do is pretty impressive. And I think I cannot wait to be there next year.
It kills me, honestly. It kills me. I'm honestly flattered, and thank you so much. Super humbled by all your kind words.
So you know what? Next year, when I do come, we need your sister to come be a babysitter, because I'll be having a little bit.
She honestly is going to be at every freaking Worlds. You know that. She's coming to Vegas. Yeah, well, we got the baby. Don't worry. My mom is going to be there. You're fine.
My God. I'm fine. As long as mom's there, we're good.
Hey, us Hispanics, I mean, it's sad to say, but the family, I mean, we do have babysitters all over, okay?
But no. Family. That's why I was like, I know.
That's the same.
One of yours there. We're good.
Oh, is Chris's family the same way? Is that
exactly.
How his?
Yeah, you guys are exactly the same. Very similar culture.
No wonder he loves food. No wonder he's like Hispanic. But no, look, Ali, I think with that Dallas show being very close to Worlds, a lot of people think like, oh my God, Steph, I feel so bad for you. You know, I know you have so much on your plate, and yes, it's a lot, but honestly, it keeps me distracted. And I feel like the distraction of having enough on my plate doesn't allow me to overthink and maybe do too much, and maybe go in the gym too often because you're thinking you're not ready. If you trust the process, you know your body and you've already done it. It's not your first rodeo. You kind of understand. For me this time around, it was more about overcoming the issues and hurdles that the Dallas show always brought to me. So it wasn't necessarily that I couldn't get the show on the road and get it on and, you know, obviously, have the production. It was the fact that I would fall behind on my meals. I would fall behind, you know, obviously on just myself, my prep, and I would feel like it was my peak week, honestly. Like it would essentially, I don't think I've made the comment more than ever on Dallas show week that I feel like I'm on peak week, because literally my body just starts, you get in that anxiety, hyperventilating, or like, you're on lower calories, but unintentionally on my end, because I skipped meals, and then running around, doing all these things, logistically for the show. It does get daunting and draining, but that's because I was skipping meals. God dang it. Like, that's the only reason. Like, so my biggest,
a fuel tank running on empty.
Exactly. So this time it was like, look, I got to prep. I have to make sure. And it wasn't that I wasn't prepped before. It was just the fact that I didn't prioritize it. So knowing when you have maybe some mistakes done in the past, you're trying to, fix them. So this time I came a lot more prepared. And, this is a lesson for everyone to kind of take home today, is the fact that no matter how prepared you could be, shit's always going to go sideways. So I was still super prepared, and shit still went sideways. I still missed my meals. Okay. Like, I still, I had food, but I didn't end up being able to eat it at the time I'm obviously supposed to. So it's not just about, the preparation. It's also about the circumstances, extra things that are happening and that you can't control. So being able to wing it, and being able to kind of do a few things just to kind of refeed my body, and again, communication with your coach, and, of course, just kind of keeping tabs on where your body is at, just to kind of keep you not too close to stage, right? So I think that was the biggest struggle over the show weekend. And then I lost my voice. I thought it was just from yelling, but I think it was honestly my immune system. Like I was saying about kind of being in prep for quite a while now, my immune system is starting to kind of get a little lower and not as strong. I'm not getting as high as, obviously nutrients as I should, for a long period of time. So these last few days have been rough. I've been feeling a little under the weather. I feel much better today. I've started getting myself back, but it's mainly more just sinuses, congestion, sore throat, nothing crazy. It's like a cold, like when you're starting to get a little sick. But other than that, very successful show. So you should have, you should have been there, Ali. I miss you.
I know. I feel the whole year about everything. I'm like, I just feel like I'm sitting here on my.
Like you guys have done a phenomenal job with the New Zealand show. I know you funnel, and of course had the workshop. I was having FOMO over the workshop because I'm like, oh my god,
it was my first big thing that I've been able to do since COVID hit. There was part of our normal year, because what we're about. We do the road shows. We run those workshops globally in different countries, and it was just so nice to be able to do one again, and so nice to see all of my New Zealand team, which are literally over the ditch, literally over this little bit of water. It's only a 3-hour flight. It's like Dallas to is Dallas to California 3 hours?
It's just like it.
It's a really short flight, right? Right. It's going from one side to the other, and we can't go for COVID. So it being open and us being able to, God, it was so nice, and it was so refreshing just to sort of feel like the vibe and the feel was back again, and that there was flow and traction inside of the brand for us on this side as well. You guys have been pretty lucky. You still put stuff on over there regardless of stuff going on. Whereas we haven't been able to do that. We actually lost our Sydney show again, second year in a row.
I heard that's actually what I was going to ask and kind of bring it. So you guys, it got canceled completely. It's a no-go.
Initially it was, and look, the Australian team are pretty freaking amazing. What they did was very early called it before it got to the point that people were last minute not knowing what was happening. They called it, and they not only called it, but they said, we'll see you, but we'll raise you. And we'll see you again in 6 weeks' time. And they actually organized everything for a delayed date, which gave everyone that was competing at least none of that uncertainty. It was just, okay, there's the new date. Move it.
Yeah.
Still, though, knew and recognized that if the symptoms of the nation kept spreading as fast as it was, it didn't get contained, the rates and infectious rates, that it would probably be cancelled. But it was not definite until just last week when they called it finally that no, it doesn't look like it's going to be under control. It doesn't look like we're going to be able to open up states and borders and everything else. So that show's now been cancelled, and you'll find maybe 60% of the people that were doing it are transitioning across to the October show or the November show in New Zealand instead.
Okay, so those are still going. That was what I was
still definitely going ahead. I mean, at this point in time, it's one of those things again with COVID, we just don't freaking know. So,
right.
You do the best you can. You prep for it, and you have full, positivity that it's going to be what you want it to be, but you don't get too attached to that outcome or that date, to the point where
so true.
If something moves, you fall apart and all of your pieces come up, you know what I mean?
I mean, I relate. I mean, you relate. You prepped for shows last year that didn't exactly 3 times. So what you said is so true, though. You can't really be fixated on the date, and I think that's kind of why I like stopped kind of really thinking about the shows that way. It was more about just kind of being ready, and that's kind of why I was saying, like, you never really feel ready. Like, people ask me, like, oh no, I'll do the show when I feel ready. I'm like, you're never gonna feel ready, okay? Like, even when you're ready, like, exactly, like, you can put a crown on you and you were crowned and they told you you're ready, you're a queen, hey, you're obviously a champion, and you're telling them, no, I'm still not ready. Like,
I'm still not where I want to be yet.
Right. But that's a personal preference or personal look that you're trying to achieve, and sometimes it's just so crazy and not unattainable, but it's just really unrealistic for us to look at ourselves that way sometimes. But it's more about, I think, the stability, I think, of keeping a lifestyle. And I think that's really what grounds me. So no matter what happens, I mean, whether I'm pretty 100% sure this show is going to go on. I don't like being that optimistic about it, but the way things are going here, I'm pretty, it's just going to be maybe some restrictions, like you said, but I don't like things aren't reverting here. Ali, October, you said Sydney was still going on. What date was that show?
Not Sydney in October. It'll be everyone moving to the GC show. So the Gold Coast show will be on in October. I think is it the 17th or the 23rd?
Oh, funny. So the 23rd of October is the second Dallas show. So we have a second Dallas show. Yeah. So the Dallas show has been such a success, and it's done so well. It's so, for people to understand, Texas, Dallas is central to the US. So we're dead center in the heart of the United States. Well, not in the smack middle, but in the bottom center of the South. And it really helps a lot of East Coast and West Coast individuals to be able to kind of fly, not all the way across the states, vice versa. It just kind of like a meeting point. And DFW, Dallas Fort Worth, is such a big metroplex and big city. A lot of people want to travel and tour. So it is becoming more popular, and the demand grew. They wanted a second Texas show. So Dallas 2.0, October 23rd. Yeah, will be happening. So we'll have a second round. And that will obviously be in the same venue, same like hotel and everything. So it'll be nice. The Gaylord Texan is a massive resort, as you remember.
Oh, I love that resort. That's honestly the best. It's so much fun. I have the best memories there. I can't wait to come back.
Yeah, so next year for you guys, because you guys don't have restrictions still next year, right? Like, you guys are still.
I would say so. So, like, our decision to actually, God, I kick myself sometimes. I wish we had started this process in the first year in 2020, because if I had have known that Worlds would have been cancelled, I would have done it all in that year, had the baby, been back, been pregnant, on this stage now. That's what I would have done if I had hindsight and perfect storm, right? But I didn't, so it doesn't matter. I'm already planning my comeback for the end of next year. Don't you worry.
Better.
I'm already planning it. But I wish we had have done that, because with Australia, we really honestly, and it's the main reason we decided to bite the bullet and just do it this year now, because we knew that the place just wasn't going to open up. We weren't. All of our government said that. It was going to be very hard run for anyone to travel. And whilst we had exemptions to do it, I just figured now was the perfect time to do this part of our life and then move back into competing next year, which is what I'll do. So I don't foresee our borders opening up until maybe first quarter next year. So that's good, though, for everyone, because I think that we should then see the capacity to have those international shows being hit. And for us, that'll mean, have the opportunity to have this baby, fingers crossed, and then be back on the road a little bit. Awesome. So, we're super excited for it. And that'll mean we'll be able to be at your shows. It'll mean, we'll be able to attend the one that I choose to make a comeback.
I can't wait to go to this New Zealand show. Like,
it's amazing.
Once things open up and the world's back and rolling, I mean, I'm excited for that one. Yeah, I think that's one of the ones Carrie and I have always you know what? Now that one's going in. We want to visit New Zealand, and we'll obviously meet you guys there. So
absolutely beautiful. I love New Zealand. It's absolutely beautiful, but the show itself is amazing. Right up there with some of the best I've been to.
The stage, y'all's venue, just from the looks of it, looks fantastic.
Absolutely beautiful.
It looks like a pro stage.
Yeah, it was gorgeous, like honestly. So I'm encouraging absolutely everyone to do the New Zealand show because I think it is a beautiful experience, and I can't wait for it to be open to welcome international, athletes, because I think that it's going to be a destination spot, and I think that's exciting. I really love seeing the brand be so successful globally, and I really love seeing it go into new zones and new cultures.
Amen.
It allows us as athletes to have so much great experiences across so many different areas, and
touring the globe
of what we do, right? Is being able to take that shit on the road.
It's my favorite part, honestly, like the being able to travel to see you or just meet somewhere like in London, like we just hook up in London. I'll see you in London, Ali, it's just pretty amazing what the WBFF has done. And like you said, the platform and like the way they're growing and the places they're going. And like for this year, they're hosting it back in Vegas, but a completely new hotel. It's one of the newest ones on the strip, which is the Paris casino hotel, and it's literally with the Eiffel Tower. I'm sure you guys have seen it. For those that have maybe been over to Vegas, it's across the street from the Bellagio, where we actually hosted it last in Vegas, and it's just a freaking fantastic venue. I was just in shock. It looks like you are in Paris, so like the whole theme, it looks like you walk in and you're in France. So I'm excited. So it's going to be a very, very cool event as far as like, the theme and seeing people. So just know, sneak peek, and maybe spoiler alert, you guys will be seeing a lot of French girls.
So I'm going to live vicariously through you.
Yeah.
Be all up in your WhatsApp and, Facebook.
Yeah, I'll be, of course. If I have a freak out moment, Ali, I'll be messaging you because there's not really many people I can talk to about that.
Bitch, you're not backstage with me with my rice and my Reese pieces. Like, what's going on?
Exactly. Where's my ninja? No, it's honestly gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird not having me backstage.
So weird.
It's still not synced in. It probably is gonna sync backstage when I can't find you. It's gonna be weird.
Ladies for everything. We always have so much fun. We're always on the floor feeding ourselves, feeding each other, feeding everyone else.
Yeah, resting up and trying to
watching stuff on our phones, like just having fun. And I think that's the biggest part of this whole experience is when you have those moments and you have people that you create those beautiful bonds with, that you can do those moments with. So, I'm so excited for you though. I cannot wait to see you take this crown. I'm so pumped.
Hey, there's so many, there's so many factors, so many people. I think
it's not going to be easy. It's going to still be
exactly what I was going to say. I never ever. Right. That's exactly right. I never have anything guaranteed. Nothing in the world is ever guaranteed. Nothing is yours until you go and freaking own it and get it.
Unless you have legs and glutes like this girl. And pretty mad little rear delts.
Oh my god! Hey, they're starting to get too much though. So I'm the queen of Stephanie.
I'm the queen of Stephanie. I'm the queen of hype. I'm Stephanie's hype.
You are my hype girl. You are. Likewise, though.
I'm really pumped to see everyone else on stage though too, just to take the limelight off you for 5 seconds, Miss Queen. I am actually really pumped to see some of the emerging physiques that we've got coming up, and some of the ones that are sort of repeat offenders in the top 10 that are coming back again.
Yes.
That I've seen improvements in their physiques on the sidelines. I'm really, really loving watching their development and growth, and I can't wait to see if their presentation on stage will match the physique and even level it up further, because that's
always the question.
I always love that, because you can have the best physique on the planet, but if you can't showcase it well on stage, you don't present it, you can't pose, then I'm sorry, it's just never going to sit where it should do in the rankings, unfortunately. So I'm excited to see, does the presentation match, the physique? And I'm really, really pumped to just see the whole production, because it is.
Oh, that's what I'm honestly the most excited about. I feel like it's gonna be
very cool.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm a little heart like broken still. I feel the sting. I miss the Australians. I really do. Like, including yourself, but I miss the athletes. Like, I feel
it's gonna be a lot of us.
So heartbroken that you guys can't come, because you make it so much better. Like the quality of the athletes that come out of Australia are just incredible. And to me, it's what I love. And I want to want to share the stage with you girls, you know?
And this is what I always say too, you know, like if you're on stage and you're in a show where unfortunately you're not able to be competitively pegged against some of the absolute best, then do you feel like you've actually been your best is the question, right? Because you don't know.
That's always the question.
Correct. So I do understand that. And that was one of the biggest things that made me think about last year when we had the exemption to go, where I was like, well, there's no who's going to actually be able to go at that point in time. We're not.
But then are you just going to give up your crown? That's the other thing, right? Like it's like that's
never
my
done
other
that.
thing. So it's like, so are you just going to say, oh no, I have the ability to go, but instead I'm just going to let you just pick somebody new, you know, fight me for it. That's fine. You know, it's okay. Like I'm okay with that. Like I'm okay with going up there, you know, and obviously defending. But I just, there's something that doesn't sit right, you know, about the world still not being open and going into this world championship to where
I know
there's this like, just so you guys can all understand where I'm coming from. I've gone up against Australia, Brazil, Europe, you know, Korea. Like, I mean, what?
Brazil can't go.
No, they can't. But what I'm saying is that these are all the countries that I'm like so used to going up against that I'm not going to be going up against. I'm going to be going up against USA, Canada, Central America, some South America, but not necessarily like Brazil.
Wow,
you know.
that really narrows that field, doesn't it? Holy moly.
That's where I'm coming from. So there's going to be some high caliber athletes. Of course, they're coming. There's some amazing American pros, amazing Canadian pros. I mean, there really is. And there's some Europeans coming over doing the whole going through Mexico. Hey, this is commitment. They're going to go do quarantine and do 2 weeks in Mexico. Okay. Flying to Mexico. Some are flying to Dubai, you know, some Italians and some Europeans are flying to Dubai, some to Mexico to be able to enter the border, you know, because those countries are allowed in, which still blows my mind, honestly. How the hell are we not allowing London in, you know, in like Europe in general, but we're still allowing the Middle East? I mean, it still questions me. I mean, again, that's just what? Anyway, so Mexico is still obviously an open border and they're allowed to come in through Mexico. So those that are coming from, let's say, Europe and are doing the show, I'm going to lay out the red carpet for you folks. Seriously, like, if you are coming from there and you're doing that effort, I applaud you, because that means that you are really coming, you know, bringing your game. You are not. Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. So, but then again, it's heartbreaking to me that not everyone.
Now is the time. If it was me and I was in one of those countries and I knew that Australia couldn't make it, I would be going. I'm not even lying.
No, I think that's why all the Americans have woke up. I think all the Americans are like, oh shit, there's no Australian. I'm in.
We've got that upcoming. I mean, that's a fierce category lineup that's just missing, right? So
yes, it is. The Brazilians, the Australians, like I said, they're my two, and the Europeans. Like again, I mean, I still always get freaking amazed by the Koreans in, you know, just Asia in general. They bring it. I mean, they bring it.
That's the little bikini girls. Oh my god,
their costumes. I mean, their shreds as well as their muscle. I mean, it's on another level. So I am gonna feel a little weird. This world, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to be able to, you know, know that this is still a world event. You know, we're going to have to make the most out of it. And the athletes that are showing up deserve to, you know, obviously bring their best. And I'm sure they are. So it's going to be the same production. I have no doubt that they're going to go in with the production.
I can't wait for the very first show back where we are back on the floor, because I reckon that's going to be mad. That's going to just be like pure fire. Because we'll all be over here working away for that shit all this time. All of a sudden, the borders will open back up. And we'll be like,
it's going to be epic. Oh, it's going to be all like Donkey Kong. Literally, like everyone is going to just go crazy. And the Australians are going to be so. Honestly, you guys have been cooped up for such a long time now from not being able to go anywhere. You know, I think you guys are going to like be the first ones to be like, pop on the plane and get the hell out.
I know we will be. I already know my whole pro team will be literally first people booking on Virgin. Like, it's not even a joke. Like, that's actually facts. Oh, shit.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. Look, I cannot wait, honestly.
I'm super excited for watching this. I'm super excited to watch absolutely everyone, but of course I'm biased with my best friend over here. I can't wait to see you on stage. And I always feels that way. And I'm always the one backstage. As soon as I get off stage, I go and I find the screen where I can watch you and I cheer you and I yell at your face. And then I'm the first one backstage as you come off.
Yeah, hugging me as I get off. Yeah.
So I'm going to feel like I'm missing out on so many things this year.
I'm not going to have you there. It's still not sinking in, Allie. I'm telling you, it's still not there. Once I'm there, I think it's going to hit me. Because normally we always, you know, kind of rely on each other just for more mental support. I think it's more mental and moral support versus anything else once we're at the events. Just because we know we could just kind of like hug and like, oh, okay, I can breathe.
You have a real moment where you're not just the queen, you're just being you, and it's a beautiful space that we have, you and I. But we also have, you know, a series of events we do leading into the show. You know, we're always part of all of the WBFF promotions and all the interviews, and so it's all the whole journey, the whole week for us is together. So it's a really bittersweet.
I know it's very bittersweet.
I will be cheerleader over the ditch over here from down under, giving you all
from down under
through all the digitals here, and also sending all my love to absolutely everyone taking the stage, because I think that, you know, I'm super proud of everyone that still fought through what has been such chaos, you know, to still get there, and everyone doing the crazy means of transport to get there. And well, you know, all the more kudos to you guys. That's the crazy.
Like I am bowing down to you.
Because if I could do it, that probably would have been me.
That's honestly, I thought of you. I even thought, I'm like, if there was anybody that would be doing this kind of shit, it would be definitely like it would definitely be Alex and Christos would be crossing the Mexican border, literally just to get.
As you say that, I have visuals of us with like little backpacks running across a field trying to dodge people.
Oh yeah, I totally see it. No, honestly, like the athletes, like you said, that are coming, that I know of, that are coming, they're bringing it. I'm so excited. It pumps me up. It gets me hyped that I at least know it's going to be on American soil. They're again, these Americans are bringing it. The Canadians are bringing it. The ones that end up coming from overseas that are doing these extra crazy loopholes to get here. I applaud you. Please come up to me and take a picture, because I gotta get a picture with you. But no, I'm pumped. I'm pumped, Allie.
I think you know, to everyone else that has shows coming up for the rest of the year, I think, you know, tune in, watch Worlds, learn from it, see what's working well on the stage and what's not. Take away lessons for what, you know, feels good, vibes well, what you think, you know, is a winning pose or angle or routine, you know, vibe from that. Because I think that it sets the future, you know, sort of path for what is going to be received on a judging panel. So it shows you the flavors and the trends and the vibe for what it is that it's ranking at the very top, because there is no bigger and better than Worlds. So, you know, I 100% encourage everyone to look to that as your benchmark always, especially the pros in those topics.
You nailed it though. It's like it's the way I look at any event, to be able to get data, gather the new data that the Federation is maybe trying to look for, whether if that is in a physique or maybe posing or maybe actual designs and bikinis. Because sometimes you'll see it's more one piece type of looks, and then sometimes it starts going into less bling and more texture. Like the year that they did
the year with the fabrics with us.
Yeah, like when they did yours, I was like, that is not bling, but that is badass. It was like silk and it had velvet and it had all these other different textures. So you kind of get an idea and start getting really, really good just brainstorming things for your next show, whether if that is a posing walk routine, as well as like maybe color or design. Renata is one of the official designers for, you know, is the official designer for WBFF, and she's going to be practically like the majority of the show. So take notes, watch the show, see what she's designing and putting out for the shows. The girls that are showing up are the top ones. So you want to watch their performance. And like Ali said, kind of see what the newest trend is for the next showing for yourself. It helps so much to studying current champions and the new champions, because there is gonna be new champions this year, and several classes that I didn't want there to be, but again, there is going to be a new champion. So, in several, because there is no Rachel Dillon coming to defend her title. So there is going to be a new bikini world champion, as well as, a new figure world champion, a new 35 plus bikini world champion, as well as a new 35 plus fitness world champion, and then those that are going to come and fight me for mine. Okay, so we're definitely going to be, up for a new face.
Like this, it's a moment where I just, hand it to someone to look after for a year, and then come back and take it back. No,
of course,
we'll definitely be coming back. My crown cabinet's not full yet. Come on, lady.
No, you would have fought for. I mean, again, they would have had to come fight you for yours, and that would have been a different story. And I know you wouldn't be giving it out if you didn't. And it's not like you're giving it out. And then by no means am I saying I'm giving out my crown. Like that's not what it is. I wear it proudly.
But you can give credit and you can give respect if someone actually comes along and is.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. I feel that same way. I think it's going to be a hard ask for you. They're going to fight real hard to even have a chance. But I think, it's never outside the scope that it could be a possibility, because it could be.
Absolutely.
Personally, I don't really see it happening, but
there is a possibility.
But there's a possibility. And so all I'll say is that I think that, every champion should always fight to retain anything that they've got.
Always. Nothing is guaranteed.
Correct. That's actually just you pursuing, you trying to be better. It's got nothing to do with beating anyone. It's got everything to do with beating yourself and getting better than you were the year before. And the same thing goes to the people trying to take it. You're not there to slay Stephanie. You're there to slay your own shit and be good enough to potentially be seen more than Stephanie. That's correct. And you couldn't have said that better, Ali. For anybody that's listening to this and actually getting this recap, it's all about being your best self. And that's all I'm going into this is, how can I improve? How can I be better than last year and the year before that and the year before that? And that sometimes becomes something difficult because you're like, I already brought my best last year. I brought my best the previous year. So how do you keep one-upping it? But there's always something, right? Honestly,
there's always something. Always something. And I think that it's about finding, what have I not given? And that's honestly the question I've asked myself numerous times over and over and over again has been, what have I not given? And it's not, what have I, obviously done? I know what I'm capable of doing and I know what I've done, but it's, what have I not given? And that's the same question I'll continue, giving to clients that you feel like, I feel like, I've not done enough. And, I'm like, well, ask yourself, what have you not given? Is it your effort? Is it your lack of attention to discipline? Is it your, maybe your lack of, maybe just really not adhering in your building phase, many different things.
For some women, it might be, did you scrimp on something? Did you save money by not spending too much on a bikini? Well, why would you do that? You just work 20 weeks or more.
Oh my God.
Body to put into it. Spend all the money. Just literally stand there and go like this to Renata.
Yeah. Honestly,
like rating fitties.
It's so true though, to not
but you really shouldn't save on that, this is something that is 40% of your entire mark. Like, why it is? So that I think is probably the biggest thing most people do. But all right, so to end this, we're all basically super excited to see what unfolds. I cannot wait to watch everyone. I'm super, super, super pumped to see what this new production is going to be like. I'm having complete FOMO, but on the scale of it though, I'm just so happy for all of you that you get to have a show, that you get to see one another, that you get to be part of this thing that we just so passionately love. And as much as I wish I could be there with you all, I will be vicariously dialed in via the internet, don't you worry. And
my heart goes out.
Yeah, I hope.
Yeah, no, my heart goes out all to the Australians that, have their shows canceled and, maybe postponed or just uncertain. Honestly, just keep going. And I get it. I did it all last year. And even this year when I started prep, it was still so uncertain. And then, of course, as things went on, you're like, okay, it's getting better. And you may be in that phase right now. It's getting better. And then it got kind of reverted back. And just keep staying positive. Remember, it's about your daily habits. Keep building your foundation. Don't just regress just because you feel like it's the end. Just keep staying where you are and keep pushing forward. Even if the deadline isn't, certain, you at least have, yourself to be proud of and everything you've achieved and being a warrior and conquering the fact that, having uncertainty sometimes is the biggest fear, right? Like we don't want to do something unless we actually have a deadline. So just overcome, the anxiety and the fear of not knowing, and just do this for yourself. And I think that you'll feel so much better, because the canceling of the show is not going to change what you wanted. You wanted to get on stage, yes, but it's not going to change the physique you wanted to achieve in a team.
Correct. I mean, it's great. That's actually great point to end on, is that don't forget why you're doing it. And it's about more than just a stage, regardless of the outcome when you get to the stage, or maybe the stage moving dates or in total cancellation.
Just keep going. Exactly. Keep going. It's a self journey. Keep pushing. And again, my heart goes out to you guys, and watch to get a little, not to get FOMO, but to watch, a little studying and, get some good information about the WBFF, because they are a revolutionary company, and they are evolving year after year, and they're going more into marketing of modeling their athletes and doing a lot more modeling. So it's a pretty interesting thing to see the new posing and all the, I guess, the new presentations that come to stage. So stay tuned. I really appreciate everyone's support. You guys are so awesome. I've lacked on social media. Honestly, my head has been spinning. I feel like a chicken with her head completely chopped off into 10 pieces, trying to pick up the pieces of the 10, trying to put them to the line. So if I haven't responded, or I haven't even got on, really, please, I mean it from the bottom of my heart, I apologize. But I will do better once Worlds comes, because I feel like at that point, I want to show you guys it's done. Like there's nothing for me to really do. Everything will be technically done. All right. So I really appreciate all the support though. And Ali, I freaking miss you. I love you. And I just cannot wait.
Go do you, boo. Do the best you can. I know you're going to make us all proud. I have no doubt. I just really miss the fact that I will be sharing it with you.
Fine.
I'll wait to watch.
Yeah, so you'll come, you got redemption. You've got, family stuff to do first. You've got some mission to accomplish before you get back on stage.
My stage.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening today, and we'll see y'all at the next episode.
Speak to you soon.
Speak to y'all later. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Queen Divas, Queens of Fitness podcast. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Queen Divas Pod, on Twitter at Queen Divas 4, and follow our hosts on Instagram, Alicia at Alicia Gowans _WBFF Pro, and Steph at Stephanie Ayala 7. See you all next week.